What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. It's amazing to me how many people out there, when I say people, I'm talking about those who work for these sports media outlets, whether they're the major outlets or some of the smaller ones. It's still amazing to me how they are choosing to alter what Scottie Pippen said to fit their particular partisan views of the GOAT debate rather than just outright reporting what Scottie Pippen said. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Scottie Pippen appeared on Valuetainment, the Valuetainment podcast. Podcast is hosted by Patrick Bet David. And Scottie Pippen was asked about, inevitably, the GOAT debate. And essentially he said that LeBron James doesn't belong in the same category as Michael Jordan when it comes to the GOAT debate. Doesn't belong in the same category. And he pretty much said a lot of the same things that we've been saying for quite some time. And the main disqualifier is that you're arguing about a guy in LeBron who has been playing now for 22 years, who in many ways still is trying to play catch up with Michael Jordan. And Michael did the things that he did within a 15 season span, and really, honestly, more like 13 years. And LeBron's being celebrated for passing Michael, have essentially played in 450, 460 more games. It's just unreal. So this is what Scottie Pippen said. When asked who would dominate if they swapped each particular era, his answer, Scottie Pippen's, was short but straight to the point. He said, quote, "Probably Michael. Remember, my era early on, was very physical, 85, 90-point games. Different. In today's game, we're looking at some games that get you at 130, 120, and so on. I think Michael would thrive off of this being free, open, not having the physicality that he had to play in and night out. He was alluding to an era where defenses were grittier, hand-checking was commonplace, and bruising battles in the paint were routine. Jordan built his legacy at a time when every point came at a cost, especially against teams like the Detroit Pistons, bad boys whose defensive schemes aimed to neutralize his dominance." I like to interject, too, that it's this common myth, though, that they were the only physical team in Jordan's era, which is all absolute rubbish. Not only did you have the bad boy Pistons, who were just the most notorious, in the 90s, the physicality actually increased. You had teams like the New York Knicks, Pat Riley's New York Knicks, later on Jeff Van Gundy's Knicks. You had the Pacers, who were very physical. You had the physical defense and the great perimeter defense, honestly, of the Seattle Sonics, of the early to mid era Sonics. You had some other good defensive teams, the Miami Heat, who pretty much took on the persona of Pat Riley in Miami. You had great individual defenders in the game as well. The Houston Rockets, who could play a free-flowing style, as well as a half-court defensive battle. The Houston Rockets, the Kenny Smith, Elijah Warren, Vernon Maxwell, Robert Ory, those teams. And then there are other teams embedded in there that were really good defensive teams. So it's not just this thing with, it's just the bad boy Pistons. That's bull. But anyway, he goes on to say, Well, actually, that was it. That's pretty much it. So what he's saying is, I don't think what he's saying is, I don't think that LeBron, if you put him in the '90s, I don't know if he would be as dominant, because look at the way LeBron James plays. LeBron James plays in an era where you've taken out the big man, um, where he gets to basically bum rush Jerome Bettis style to the basket with no penalty, where he couldn't do that in the late '80s and 1990s. He wouldn't be able to do that with actual real centers. He would pay a price. Yeah, LeBron James is a big guy, but if he gets a steady diet of being fouled and mauled by the likes of Charles Barkley and Karl Malone and Shaq and Dikembe Mutombo and the rest of the guys, Olajuwon, that's going to wear him down, and physically it's going to have him pay a price. You know what I'm saying? Um, and with hand checking, he wouldn't be scoring as easily. His turnovers would be even higher. Like I said before, he probably would have seasons averaging 5.5, 6.5 turnovers, maybe even approaching 7 if he was playing in that era with the slow down pace, as opposed to you putting Michael Jordan, who had to work hard to get open and to get quality looks. Matter of fact, one of the reasons why he developed the fadeaway shot, which is a shot you don't even see as much anymore, is because you had to work hard to get open in that era. So imagine an era where Jordan doesn't even essentially have to work as hard to get open. The pace is faster. So Jordan averaging 30 in the 90s. What is he averaging now? On a good team, he's averaging 35. On a championship team, he's averaging 35. Lord have mercy. Don't put 87 Jordan in this era with a 3-ball. So yeah, I see what he's talking about. But I'm seeing these typical sites manipulating what he said. Scottie says that Magic is the GOAT. Scottie says that Magic is better than LeBron. Scottie is saying that Magic is better than Jordan, and I see even some of them rehashing some stuff he said before. Jordan is a horrible teammate. That's what he said back 3 years ago. So can we really trust what Scottie says? Or whatever, man. At the end of the day, report what he said and stop trying to manipulate what the masses hear or think. That's my problem with the Fourth Estate now, is that they keep trying to interject their own personal views and influence the viewer. Do your goddamn job and report what these guys are saying. Report what they're saying and stop interjecting your elitist partisan views and trying to manipulate how people feel. That's why people see through what you're doing. That's why the ratings are cratering right now with networks like MSNBC. These people are still mad that that guy won, man. They're still pissed off about that. People leaving the country because their candidate didn't win. Man, y'all just as bad as the Trump supporters were. What's the difference? Anyway, I shouldn't have interjected politics, but I'm saying, man, that's what the media does, man. Now, look, do I agree that Magic Johnson's the GOAT, like what Scottie said? No. Do I think that there's some sour grapes there? Yes. But, at the end of the day, that's Scottie Pippen's opinion. But one thing that we damn sure know is that he can see that LeBron is the GOAT, man. You can clearly just see it, man. Clearly. They're not on the same level. Is he great? Yeah. But no. And then let's not even talk about the 800-pound elephant in the room that we're not allowed to talk about on social media. And it's the rumors about why he's been able possibly to be able to play at this level for so long. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I'm saying? Like, we supposed to just completely ignore that. Meanwhile, suspicions of these types of activities have kept great players like Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire. Well, some of them is not just suspicion, it's actual evidence. But still, just suspicion for Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens have kept them out of the Hall of Fame. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. What you guys think?